live. Hello, everybody. Happy birthday. I am Kara Alexi, and this is Butterbear. Butterbear was asleep and doesn't want to stay. Oh, he is actually going to lie down right behind the camera. Anyway, so I'm Kara Alexi. I'm a writer, if you don't know, in Trinidad and Tobago. I live here, I work here, I was born here, I was raised here. And this channel is Pantsing Like a Pro. And I started this 7 weeks ago today at this time, in fact, as a way to hold myself accountable for writing and finishing a manuscript. Because without this, it will take forever. Oh, look, there's Mushroom. Oh, God, what is she doing? You know what? We'll get to what that is in a bit. But yes, so this channel is my accountability channel. Hi, Julie. Um, Julie, for those who don't know, Julie is another friend of mine who tells me that she started writing again, uh, in part because of listening to this channel. And the stuff that I've been talking about. I interviewed Julie last week. I don't know if interview is the right word, but whatever. Julie and I sat on this channel last week and we had a really interesting discussion about plotting versus pantsing. Because, oh, hi, Nikki. Nikki says she never realized how busy she is on a Sunday afternoon. She reached from the beach to be here. I appreciate that so much. I was just telling somebody okay, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but I was just telling somebody from a new Discord server that I joined that I started this channel for accountability purposes, and like 5 people in my life watch this channel. That's not true. I think it's a few more than 5 of you, but you guys are here all the time. You're like dedicated to keeping my ass in the lane that it's got to stay in, and I can't stress enough how much I love and appreciate that. In fact, Candy, who is here only for a few minutes, she says, but is here, has been giving me delicious baked goods as treats every time I hit like a major landmark. She gave me 3 cupcakes at 10,000 words, and I got 3 cupcakes. They're a little bit squished from the box and kind of melty, but she gave me 3 cupcakes for hitting 25,000 words. I obviously ate one already. Absolutely, Nikki. You will definitely get mentions in my dedications should these books ever go to publication. I can't imagine that I would be as far along as I am in this manuscript without all of you cheering me on like this, and without Candy's delicious baked goods. Yeah, I ate one already. But the good news, actually, okay, hold on. I gotta focus here. So Julie had some really interesting things to say about her plotting process that I thought was great. And I'd love to have Julie here again to tell us more about when she actually hits the writing phase, because right now she's doing Preptober, so she's not writing quite yet. But I'm really interested to see what they have to say when that time comes. And man, just add a lot of things. So I'm gonna just continue with updates. My brain is kind of all over the place, probably because I just ate like a crap ton of sugar because I consumed that cupcake. But anyway, as you already know, most of you already know, I've been having a lot of brain fog problems. Case in point, difficulty focusing. I've been having a lot of brain fog problems, and it means that for the last 2 weeks, from when I finished Act 1 on September 30th to today, I wrote I wrote about 1,500 words in total in that 2 week period. And I felt like trash. I felt really bad. I felt like I wasn't dedicating myself to my work. I felt awful. And I know you guys know I felt awful because I complained to you about it. But I realize that I can't just accept that I have brain fog and that's that, screw like all my dreams and hopes and plans. I've got to do something about it. And I've been actively trying in the last not even that long. Probably like in the last 3 or 4 days, I've been actively trying to do things that will combat that brain fog. Um, and if you don't know, which again, I know everybody who is watching probably already knows, but I have something called polycystic ovarian syndrome. And women with PCOS are significantly more likely. Is that a mushroom back there? There is a mushroom. She's not back there anymore, which means that there's a real big delay. I just saw that. Is there a mushroom back there? Um, anyway, there is a DC on the floor, and I believe he is chasing a mushroom. If we're lucky, maybe they will dash across the desk. Oh, there she is again. Mushy mush. All right, I'm so getting sidetracked, like I write my little outline every day and then okay. So where was I? I think I was at anxiety and stuff. Anyway, so PCOS, anxiety, depression, a lot of health problems, crappy. And I need to like figure out how to push through that to make sure I write every day. And I've been kind of beastly about it. So walnuts are supposed to be good for brain fog and getting past brain fog. So as you can see, I have a whole like bunch of walnuts just on my desk to randomly snack on. I've been taking ginseng supplements and I've been taking B12 and I have reduced the amount of sugar that I've been having significantly. I mean, it's a thing that I should have been doing anyway, because as a woman with PCOS, you should be paying very close attention to your diet and trying to prevent insulin spikes and trying to prevent insulin resistance in your body. I've not been being very good about that, but I am being better about it now, and it has made a huge difference. Now, the problem is I haven't done this very scientifically, so I don't know if it's the reducing the sugar, the B12, the ginseng, or the walnuts that has helped me to deal with this brain fog, or if it's some combination thereof. But I don't have the time to figure it out. Okay, so if using all of it works. Oh, so Stephen mentioned that ginseng causes headaches for most people. So be warned. That's interesting. I've yet to have that problem. So I will definitely keep that in mind. If I start getting headaches, I'll cut the ginseng. Um, Kirsten says, don't forget your vitamin C, literally a cure all, and magnesium. I will keep that in mind. I have redoxon. I guess I could start drinking more of that. I don't think I have like an actual vitamin C supplement. Um, since I am also borderline anemic, lovely, I do take a iron tablet, a slow release iron tablet every couple days. If I take it every day, my body's just gets rid of most of it, so I don't. But I do take it like every 2 or 3 days, and that works pretty well for me. Had not been taking it during my whole like brain fog wonky period, uh, but I'm doing it now, and I guess it's working. So yay! Um, but I definitely learned a huge lesson because once I started practicing that whole, paying a little bit more attention to my diet and doing all of that stuff, the floodgates just opened, like the rains came. I don't know how to describe it, but I went from scratching and struggling to get anything done to writing 2,500 words on Friday night. And then, oh my God, Mushroom, can you not just pull everything down from the wall, please? Is now your Zoomy time? Is what is happening, my love? Come, come on. Seriously? This is Mushroom. She's the smallest cat. And now she's gone. So, anywho, the floodgates opened on Friday. I wrote 2,500 words. I sprinted for like 3 hours. My sprint average is actually if oh, okay, mushy. My sprint average actually climbed. I was just like in the like 275 to 325, 350 range for my sprints. For my sprints. Um, and when I sat down to sprint a couple days ago, I hit 400 more than once in my 20-minute sprint, which is new for me. Uh, and I know that most of you, again, you guys already know, um, I did start off being able to write barely 100 to 150 words per sprint. So this is pretty awesome for me. I'm actually really, really pleased. So I did that on Friday night. Um, yesterday I hit 2000, but it wasn't 2000 in one sitting. It was 600 and something earlier on that day, when I should have been taking a nap. And then about a little less, I guess, than 1500 last night. It was pretty cool. I just crossed. My family thinks that Mushroom knows that you guys are here. Probably. I mean, she's sitting on my tower now, looking very pleased with herself. I think mostly that because I opened today by introducing Butterbeer, she was like, "No, my spotlight," because that's the kind of this kind of cat she is. Um, but yeah, that was super super awesome. So I am crossing my fingers that if I can maintain this level of clarity and brain power, then I can keep hitting 2000 words a day. And if I can keep hitting 2000 words a day, then that means I'm going to finish this manuscript sometime in the middle of November. And then I'll have time to do edits. I've already got some critique partners who read Act 1 for me, so I already know some of what I want to change and adjust from Act 1. And it's pretty awesome. Another really important thing that Talia Ishvari, I don't know if she's listening right now, because I don't actually know who is listening unless they comment. But something that Talia kind of beat me over the head about is during that 2 week period when I was feeling super guilty about not writing, she was reminding me constantly about how important self care is. And holy crap, she's right. And I mean, I always knew she was right. I was just very bad at listening to this advice. Um, Talia pointed out to me that my day job uses many of the same muscles that writing does, because as my biggest thing, the biggest thing that I do during the day right now, well, the day is that I am actually a writing coach and an essay coach. And I spend a lot of time helping other people brainstorm. I spend a lot of time helping other people understand the hero's journey. I spend a lot of time helping other people edit their work and adjust to the flow and find their voice. And I spend a lot of time helping other people do that. So obviously, while it's different to do that for myself, a lot of the muscles I use, a lot of the skills I use, they're either the same or there is great overlap. So I guess I just have to kind of cop to the fact that my brain, whether it was diet or otherwise, I clearly needed that 2 week period to just get my shit together. And hopefully that's it. Hopefully that's the thing. And now I'm gonna write 2000 words a day. Hurrah. Um Other new developments. I think I may have mentioned this a few minutes ago, but I joined a server that is run by one of the Pitch War mentors. I may have spoken about Pitch Wars in the past, so it's an opportunity if you have a finished manuscript that is as polished and perfect and like great as you can get it. And so for you, you think it's like ready to query, or you think that maybe it just needs a little help before being ready to query, you can submit to something called Pitch Wars, where there are a bunch of editors and authors who act as mentors, and they will pick a manuscript from the thousands of submissions. I think Pitch Wars this year got over 4,000 submissions, and that meant many of the mentors got over 100 submissions. So they'll read through all of these submissions and they'll pick one, and they will mentor you and help you to develop your manuscript into something that is queryable, uh, which is kind of weird to say because it should have been queryable before you submitted. Anyway, I think the point is you should have a completed manuscript that's kind of ready to go. And then you do this pitch wars thing. Anyway, this mentor has a server for folks who are pitch wars applicants or pitch wars adjacent. And since I hope to be able to pitch my cats. Since I hope to pitch my manuscript in December, assuming I can finish this, get my feedback, edit all of that in time, yikes. That's okay. Pitch wars happens every quarter, so if I don't make December, I'll make the next time around. But yes, so I joined that server and it's been awesome. It's been super awesome. I've already spoken to 2 or 3 new people to have new, for the future audience, define query. Okay. So in traditional publishing, after you finish your manuscript, you usually have, sometimes during the process of writing, but sometimes just at the end, right? But you have query partners, you have critique partners, and you'll swap manuscripts, you'll give each other, critique and feedback. And at some point you'll have alpha readers who I guess are people who you don't swap your manuscript with, but they read it. And then you have beta readers. I kind of call everybody who I don't swap with a beta reader. I'm not sure why. I guess an alpha reader just sounds weird in my mouth to me. I don't know. It's weird. But technically that you got alpha, whatever. At that point, after you've done all of that stuff and you feel like there's nothing else you can do for your manuscript, unless you have the cash to hire an editor or get like some kind of professional assistance with your manuscript, you polish that basically until it is as close as you can get to a product that you would find on a shelf in a bookstore. At that point, if you want to be traditionally published, you got to find an agent. For most things, you have to find an agent. There are some publishing houses that will accept a manuscript directly from the author, and I do think that includes some of the big houses as well. But for the most part, you want an agent. So querying is the process by which you put together what we call a query package. That's usually a query letter, which is like your cover letter. It has your blurb, it has a bio, what the story is about kind of thing. You may be required to have a synopsis. Usually that's 1 page. Sometimes you can get away with 2-page synopsis. And sometimes you just submit that. But your query package usually does include pages. So different agents request a different number of pages. Some agents don't want any pages. They just want your query, which is basically your pitch, right? So like in that cover letter, you've got to convince them that this is worth reading. So you do that or you don't. Sometimes with just a query letter, you also get to send a synopsis so they can decide, they can have more to decide whether or not they want to read your pages. And then some agents will ask you, to just send everything one time. They'll ask for the first 5 or 10 pages, some other first 20 or 30, and some will ask you to send the first 50 pages. After they've read all of that, they might find that they're interested in your book. They'll ask for a full a partial or a full manuscript, obviously, depending on what they asked for at first. And then after they've read everything, they'll be like, I think I might like to represent this author and turn them into a traditionally published person. They probably won't sound like that because I'm kind of an ass. Or they'll be like, this is okay, but it's not really my vibe. And then they'll tell you. And from what I can tell, if they decide that they like your work and they want to represent you, they will ask to have a meeting with you where you can kind of get to know each other, and then you'll know if you will work together well as people and not just as words on a page. And if that goes well, they will probably offer you representation. Yay! And after that, there's a process of like basically trying to sell to publishers, which is a whole different story and not something I was prepared to talk about today. Right? I prepare like exactly two or three things that I'll talk about that maybe have subpoints every time I do this. Mostly it's kind of what my weekly journey has been and what I have learned from about myself and my writing so far. And it's almost never all this other stuff. But you can feel free to ask me questions. Maybe one day I will have an agent and I can answer these questions a lot better. Um, Anywho, somebody like somebody tell me what the hell I was talking about before. Somebody. And I know there's like a huge delay, so hey, Nicola's here. I don't know how big this delay is. I guess I can just sit here quietly. What was I talking about? I want to say that I was wrapping up my whole self-care and I was talking. Thank you, Nikki. It was self-care. Great. Um, yeah, so I use a lot of the same muscles at work that I do for writing, and that definitely brings me. Julie Mango wants to hear about Chiran. I'm getting there. Okay, okay. Oh man, I'm clicking all the wrong things. Okay, Julie Mango, I want to hear about Chiran. Julie, I have things to tell earlier. All right. Okay, Chiran. So last night I was pantsing my ass off. Okay. Um, what? Stephen also says that's why I should have a non-writers channel to talk about cats and stuff. Oh, I'm guessing that's because Nikki said that we pull you off track all the time. Probably. Anyway, okay, see, we going off track again. Children, all right? And I got so excited about this. So, I learned last night while pantsing my ass off, which that analogy doesn't make sense. Anyway, that comparison, whatever. I learned last night that my antagonist has a daughter. I also learned last night that my antagonist's daughter is a big part of my antagonist's motivation for what he's doing and why and where he is. And I learned that she is also going to become one of my protagonist's biggest allies. Mushroom. I'll just pick it up and stick it back on the wall after. I'll just have to use more tape. It's fine. Anyway, so that's what I learned. And I intended to talk about I know I see. I intended to talk about this today, but I think that oh my gosh, mush! Stop. Mushy! Oh, an adventure! No, cuddle me. Anyway, what was I talking about? I was talking about my antagonist's daughter that I had no idea that he had. So I intended to talk about this today, right? I intended to talk about how I discovered this. And while I was thinking about this, I watched Julie's NaNoWriMo check-in, which she posted yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to watch it until today. And in it, she talks about character development and coming up with your characters and outlining your characters in preparation for the actual writing. And Julie asks a lot of really detailed questions about her characters. Julie asks a lot of detailed questions about their characters that I would never. That's not true. Like, it's not that I would never think of it, but I don't always feel like those are relevant questions to ask about my characters. Now, I mean, geez, Anne, because having a daughter is a big deal. So that's a question I guess I should have asked. But in this pantsing process, I discovered this, and I was just like, wow, there's a whole child, a whole teenager that just appeared fully grown and ready to rumble in my manuscript. Uh, okay. I really like her. I really like this unexpected child that just popped up. Um, and I'm very curious to see what she does next and how she does it and exactly how much of a role she has to play in Junie's story. But that's really cool. And I felt like it was such a huge, it's so different compared to what Julie was talking about when they were describing how they plot or how they plan their characters and how they ask all these detailed questions and how they do all of this stuff. Julie says that she loves discovering Chiranjasu. Um, and I hope that in your story you too discover Chiranjasu. Yeah, it was amazing, and I missed that so much. As I've mentioned before, I've discovered that I'm not a pantser entirely. I guess I'm a plantser because I will sit down and I will write a little bit uh, about what's happening next in the story, and then I will write that. At least that's what I do when I get stuck. So if I'm not stuck, I'll just write. But if I am stuck, I'm going to end up like doing a little. Okay, so this needs to happen, and that needs to happen, and these other things need to happen. And at that point, um, I'll be like, okay, at least I know where this is going, so I have an idea of what to write, and then I write. And sometimes that writing does not necessarily follow the outline that I've just given myself. It just goes in its own direction, and that's cool. I love that. And this is one of those times where it both went in its own direction, and also it is like on its way to where I want the story to go in the first place. So not necessarily, going off in an entirely different place, but taking a different path to the end point I want the story to be at. And that's fantastic. That's incredible and awesome and amazing. And I love it. And I just never had that when I was trying to plot. So I guess it just comes back to that what we were talking about last week when Julie and I was sitting down together is just kind of crazy. So yes, I randomly discovered a surprise child in my manuscript. And I think that that's all the updates I have for you, aside from my actual word count, etc. So my actual word count is beyond 28,000 words now. And I hope that when I am finished with this stream today, I'll give myself a little break, maybe have another cupcake. And if I'm really lucky and I have, the same kind of drive that I had the last couple of nights, I'm going to cross 30,000 words as well. Yay! I do get another 3 cupcakes from Candy at 50,000 words. At least I think so, because in her note to me, she says, "Congrats, you did it! So proud of you! See you at 5K." And I'm pretty sure she's at 50. At least I hope so, because if not, I think I'm owed some cupcakes. But yeah, so I'm very excited. I hope I can keep up this 2,000 word a day thing. I'm kind of struggling with my schedule because, as I've mentioned before, this is high capacity at work time. So between now, oh gosh, Mushroom, I can't with you. Oh, so I did say that I would explain what is all that stuff on my wall. This whiteboard is movable. I can move this whiteboard across to expose more of that grid that you guys may be seeing on the wall. And that grid is basically, oh, it's supposed to be the next 5K. Oh, Candy, you're so sweet. That's probably why Candy, right? Mushroom, calm yourself. She is crazy. This cat is. Her zoomies are intense. Anyway, um, what was I saying? This happens every time. God damn it. Oh, I was explaining what what mushroom is attacking in the corner. So during this 2 week brain fog, when I was struggling to figure out what happens next and why I wasn't writing and what was going on in my story, I pulled aside this. Um, oh, the rain, Nikki. Nikki says, "I was promised rain and children. Now rain." So the rain is about the rains coming at last with writing almost 5,000 words just this week, just in the last 2 days only. And I know for some writers, 5,000 words over 2 days is nothing to them, but for me, that was huge. I don't think I'd ever done that before. Just the way that it's been, and if I'm lucky, I will cross 5,000. So I've got 45, a little over 4,500 words between Friday and Saturday. So today, I'm hoping to cross that 5,000 mark and maybe hit 6 or 7,000 over the last couple, like over the last 3 days. So that's the rate. Um, the stuff that Mushroom is attacking is when I was trying to figure out my crap, and I posted. I used my wall as a plot board. Um, and I have stuff written on index cards, and those index cards are stuck to the wall in various places. You can see that there are not many index cards stuck on the wall because that wasn't really working well for me, even though it has worked in the past. And anything that was on the wall that did work for me is no longer on the wall because I have lovely furry children like Mushroom, who are all too happy to chew on them and pull them off the wall. So, yes. I think that that's it. And it's actually only been 32 minutes. Usually, all it is take my real off course, and this take me an hour. This update is take an hour. I always say that I plan to do this for 20 to 30 minutes. And now that I've actually budgeted the hour because you guys keep me talking about all sorts of crap. I actually like got everything done in roughly 30 minutes, even with the distraction of Mushroom zooming across my office. So I'm very proud of myself for that too. Thank you, Nikki. I intend to keep going. Go me, meing. Yeah. I think that that's it. So I'm finally chugging along into Act Two. The rain has come. My writing has started again, and that break, despite the fact that I didn't know if that was a real break or what it was doing to my, my practice, it seemed like it was a good thing, right? Because I'm writing more per 20 minutes now. I'm figuring out my schedule, so I am taking naps during the day so that I could stay up later without as many consequences as I had in the past, because work, like I said, is kind of urgent period kind of thing. So I'm working overtime, but I'm sleeping in the day so I can stay up later. At night, I'm writing 300 plus words per sprint, so 2 or 3 sprints, and I hit my daily word goal. And then if I've got the time, I mean, the last 2 nights when I crossed 2,000 words, I finished and I was in bed by 1 a.m. Whereas before, I would probably end up awake past 2 trying to figure that stuff out. So it's been working, taking my B12, eating crap ton of walnuts, taking naps during the day so that I'm adequately rested, and that's important because I could just go to bed earlier, and instead of doing that, I'm choosing to nap in the day and write at night. So when I tried writing during the day instead of napping, my word count per sprint was significantly under 300 every time. But when I am rested at night, And after all of my work is done and I don't have to keep my eye on the clock and I could just write as long as I feel like, oh, that's tiramisu. That's not mushroom. What? Anybody watching who knows the story of the cat that screams at me, this is the cat. Tiramisu is the cat that will walk into the room and screech at you until you drop everything and give her 15 seconds of your full undivided attention. She's a diva. Anyway, but when I write at night, I manage to cross that 300 words per sprint, which is epic. In fact, over the last couple days, I crossed 400 words per sprint a couple times, which is super awesome. And that's it. That's where we are at. So about now is when I say, okay, friends, do you have any questions for me, or is there anything that I said that needs explaining? Because I think that today's stream is perhaps the most erratic that we've had yet. Diffused learning, your unconscious working over the block days to work it out. I don't know if you mean that is what was happening over the 2 weeks where I wasn't writing. I do think that was happening. And in the event that what you mean is that the naps during the day is this process, I think that that's the case as well. It's both resting me and it's giving my brain a chance to unconsciously sort some stuff out. But it works. Yeah. I do think I'm going to try to do more sprinting in the daytime, because the reason I crossed 2,000 words yesterday is because I sat down and I forced myself to do at least an hour. Well, I did 2 sprints, which is 2 40-minute, 2 20-minute sprints with 5-minute breaks in between. So almost a whole hour. But I did make myself do that yesterday, and that's how I ended up with over 600 words in the daytime. It was awful though. I clearly, the writing at night is really the thing that works best for me. But I don't think that I could get away with that all the time because of my work schedule. So we'll see. Any more questions, comments, queries, conundrums, concerns, complaints? Because if you guys don't have any of the above, for the first time in ever, I think this stream might actually end before the 45-minute mark. Oh, wow, there is a question. Thank you, Stephen. So Stephen asks, what actually inspired you to make the final push to start the structured path when day job health and other life stresses, especially due to COVID, you have to fight against? Well, boy, listen, that is a great question. Before I ramble, before I ramble, let me think about that for a sec. One of the things that I'm not very good at is doing things for myself. I won't cook if the only person who's going to benefit from me cooking is me. But if I cook, Brendan will also have food to eat, so I'm more inspired to cook. When I'm at work, I don't just do my job because it's going to pay my bills. I do my job because the clients that I work with depend on me to help them find their own breakthroughs, to help them finish their own essays, their own work, their own stuff. Because a good number of my clients are kids, it helps them to achieve the grade. It helps them to realize or recognize that it's not them, it's maybe just the system that they're in, and maybe they just needed a slightly different way of looking at their English literature class or a slightly different way of looking at an A-push essay or an A-push assignment. I do all of those things. Yeah, sure, they help pay my bills, but I don't do them because I have some internal drive to help myself. I do those things because I love seeing that it benefits them and that they enjoy it. And I really needed to start doing something that was for me and for my goals and for my dreams and for the things that I wanted to do for myself in my life. Um, and I told myself that some years ago, which is how I ended up being, writing and applying to the Cropper Foundation workshop that I did last year. It's how I managed to get in. It's how I ended up applying to the Martha's Vineyard Creative Writing Institute fellowship. That had to be delayed until next year. Um, so but I hadn't actually sat down and done this for myself. I hadn't sat down and said, no, Care, you need to get to the end of it. You need to get all the way there. You need to make this happen and make this work for yourself. Because if you never finish this and you never query it and you never send it to editors and critique partners and all of these other things, you're going to hate yourself for not giving yourself the opportunity, because the only person holding you back at this point is you. So that's it in a nutshell. That's not a nutshell. That's a big nutshell. But that's it. That's the reason I decided to do it. It's one of those things where it's never the right time. It's never the right time, and it's never going to be the right time. So you have to make it the right time. And that's what I did. And now we're here. And you guys are listening to me whine once a week, every week. Which I appreciate deeply, because I definitely think that starting this channel to hold myself accountable and having you all here every week, even when you can't make it, I know that you guys watch the replays, because I see your comments after, I get your messages to me after, and I know that you give a damn and that you're behind me helping me get there. And people say that you should never write for others. You don't write, you don't write and you post your chapters. And I mean, I guess it's different in fan fiction, but that you need to have an internal motivation. And the thing is, though, I think this is very different, because y'all ain't never read anything I write. I mean, my mom has. I'm not sure that Julie or Candy ever wrote anything I wrote, anything I ever read anything I wrote. But you are here anyway, telling me that this is a thing that I can do, and this is a thing that you believe I can accomplish, and that you believe in me. And that is kind of really epic, to know that every week I can sit here and at least one person will be like, did you hit your word count this week? And at least one person will go, woo, yay, you wrote however many words. And at least one person will be like, it's okay if you didn't write 1,500 words yesterday. Sometimes we all need to take a break. Like, I can't describe what that's like. And you all aren't writing as well. I mean, Julie might be, but most of you aren't also doing writing projects. Most of you have never read any of my work, and you're still just like, yay, friendship. And I know that sounds dumb, but that's probably why I will 100% have to include you all in my dedication. If this book ever goes to print, it definitely has to. There's no way. There's no way I could be 30,000 words. I'm like spitting distance from it. Mushroom, stop showing everybody your ass. It's rude. Anyway, any more questions? Maybe you have questions for Mushroom. I know that what she wants. This is what she wants. Here, dance for the people on the interwebs. Wow. Nikki wants to know, are we all predictable in what we say? Yes and no. The one thing that is predictable is that you are going to support me almost no matter what. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you found out that I was like a secret murderer or something, some of you would still support me and help me hide the body. But for the most part, Yeah, like the predictable thing is that I know I'm going to receive support no matter what happens that week. Uh, but that's the predictable part. What you say and how you give that support, I think, is going to vary from mushroom. I'm trying to use my mouse here. Obviously, the cat doesn't want me to use the mouse. But yeah, that's where all the predictability is. Like, I don't know what exactly you're going to say. I don't know how you're going to say it. I don't know how you're going to express your support, but I do know that I'll have it. And that means a whole lot. Stephen says maybe Mushroom should wear leather pants. It's true. I mean, I'm not wearing them today either. Today I'm wearing my yoga pants. But I also did not know that you'd be here, Stephen. Okay, I would have put the leather pants on. I'm sorry. Because you're almost never here. You're always busy. Mushroom, I swear, if you pull that webcam down, I will be very upset. Stop. See? Nikki knows. She says that she has a shovel and lime. Maybe I shouldn't have showed the whole world that, but at least it, whatever. It was in the comments before anyway. It's on record. Do we have any more questions before I say goodbye this evening? Mushroom is not pleased. Mushy. Okay, so I feel like delay or no delay, that was Alex. Hi, Alex. You're coming in at the tail end, my friend. I was about to wrap up. I was just asking for any final questions, which there did not seem to be any of. So I'm gonna stop like procrastinating, since what I do after the stream is eat and write. So I'm gonna stop procrastinating, and I'm gonna go write. And you can, oh, mushroom. Stop it. Anyway, you can catch more about mushroom on probably like Instagram or something. I don't know where. I don't know if I have pictures of her recently, but I'll post them somewhere. Anyway, bye everybody. I will be back next week on Sunday at this time, which is 4 o'clock -4 because we're in Trinidad. And that's that. Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for being here. Bye.